Hello, hello. Welcome to our intro and kickoff for the Slow and Steady Wellness Challenge. I'm going to give everybody a minute to come on, and then we'll start. When you get here, go ahead and type and say you're here, so I know you're here. I'm a little bit early, so everyone may not be on right now. I'm going to go ahead and share, though, inside of our I'm going to share inside of our group just for anyone who can't find it, though. Let's see if I can get it on here real quick. Type in the chat that you're here so I know who you are, who's here, that you can see me. Let me know that if my sound's okay. Hey, Belinda. Can you hear me okay? I think there's like a 3-second delay. We checked it out the other day, Miranda and I did, just to see. That's why we chose to go with YouTube, because it's a less delay than Facebook Live is. So, and I can save the videos a little bit easier on YouTube. All right, I'm going to share it real quick to the Facebook group just in case. Hey, Randa. All right, I'm going to share it to the Facebook group real quick just in case anybody has difficulty getting in or finding the little obscure YouTube link. So far there's 2 of you. I think there's a few more coming. Let's see, is that the event? Oh, I think I'm just going to post it. I'm going to post it in the whole group. If y'all have any questions already, go ahead and type them in. I have a few from the intake that I had. So we'll cover those also. But all right, I'm posting in the group. So how's y'all's week going so far? Been working on invoices today and scheduling babies for the month. All right, looks like there's 7 people on. Can y'all go ahead and just type in the comments so I know you're here? Let me know if you have any questions right out of the gate. I have a few questions from the initial intake forms. So, oh yeah, back to school prep. Refereeing boys. Yeah, I'm refereeing kids around here too. When does school start back, Belinda? I know here it starts early. I mean, we homeschool, so we've been going year round, but I think most of the area schools around here start back this week. Okay, August 9th. Oh, you checking on the chickens, Miranda? I hope they're all doing well. Everybody's keeping them fed and watered in this heat. No, that's the struggle we've had to deal with. All right, well, I'm going to let you just type any questions that you have as you come in. Say hey so I know who's here. Looks like we got 6 or 7 coming in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first of all, thank you for being in this challenge. It's my very first one, and it's really just going to be a rough, dry run just to see if the order's correct, and just kind of see what a good flow is going to be. So the name of the challenge is Slow and Steady, and I'm gonna do a little teaching on that as to why I chose that. I'm gonna do that in a video. Hey, Amy. But I thought today we would just take this time to answer any questions and go through like what it's going to look like on a weekly basis. So I chose to go ahead and just do 4 weeks. We may extend it out to 6 weeks if everybody is wants to and everybody that's on board, because as I set my timeline out, I don't think I can cover everything I want to cover in 4 weeks. I think it's going to be a little bit too compact. So again, there's going to be a replay. So if you miss anything and you have to go, the replay is the same link. It's going to be up. This video is private. It's unlisted so that anybody who has the link can watch it. But it's not on, it's going to be posted on YouTube, but nobody on YouTube can see it. The only people who are going to see it. Oh, hey, Pam. The only people who can see it is our group. Our group is right now, this challenge group, this initial challenge group is all people that I know, that are my personal friends, that I either grew up with, that I work with, that I know in person. Nobody in this group is anyone who's just some obscure person off the internet. So let's talk about our HIPAA rules for a minute, though. Because I am a physical therapist, I am governed by HIPAA rules. So anything you tell me is patient confidentiality. But if you post something or comment on YouTube, on this YouTube video in the chat, or in our Facebook group, divulging some of your medical information, then that's you. That's on you. You can divulge whatever information that you want to. I just cannot divulge any information. So any information that you divulge to me in a private message or on the surveys or anything like that, I'm not going to divulge that information. That is for you to share with the group if you want to or not. That goes back to, we're going to be setting goals. If you want to share your goals with the group, share them. If you don't, that's fine. It can just be between you and I. Okay. All right. So the overview of the challenge. So we're starting today with a live video and a live kickoff. And we're going to talk a little bit about today. We're going to talk a little bit about journaling. We're going to talk about like the equipment that you're going to need for the challenge and those kind of things. But I'm just going to, so we're going to do the intro today. We're going to set a couple of challenges for today. Week 2, we're going to talk about exercise. We're going to give you some, I'm going to give you some specifics on that. And week 3, we're going to talk about, sorry, these are my notes. Can you read them? We're going to talk about nutrition and sleep. We're going to set some challenges related to that. And then on week 4, if we don't go to week 6, if we don't extend at week 4, we're going to talk about reassessing and making further goals. I think it would be better to go out 6 weeks, because most goals, you know, like if you are going to a gym, they're going to reassess at 6 weeks. Some people say, some research says that it takes 6 weeks to get any results. I beg to differ. But so if this changes, I'll update you weekly if we're changing. Okay. So, so that doesn't mean that just because we're not going to really get into nutrition till week 3, that does not mean that you can't go ahead and start making some goals toward nutrition and changing those. And we can talk about that. I am going to, after today, after this live ends, I'm going to post, I've already recorded a video talking about our assessment form. And that's on our main page under files, on our challenge page under files. So this is what it looks like printed off. I've got mine stapled, and I've got some notes on it in the front to back. So basically page 1 is for you to print it all off. But page 1 is for you to you put the date, you put your current weight and BMI, and then to do your assessments and to denote those. So I have a whole video on this, so I'm not going to go over that now. And I'm going to post this immediately after we end this live. So I'm probably going to go live again one day this week, either lunchtime live or afternoon. Y'all go ahead and type in the chat which one you would prefer. It won't be Wednesday night. It could be Thursday night. It won't be Friday night. So I was thinking either probably Thursday evening would be like around 6 o'clock. So to go over, because I want you to all I want people to have time to watch this video, watch the video that I'm going to post next, and to go ahead and start trying to do their assessments and that way I can answer any questions. So go ahead and print this out. This is in the file of our group. Don't go now. Stay here with me right now, but you can do that later. Okay. So you prefer lunchtime? Okay. Okay, cool. How about the weekend? What about like a weekend midday, kind of like a Saturday kind of thing? most of the babies I see in the morning, but I'm not always back by noon exactly. So I could do like a live Q&A kind of thing on the spur, but for the teachings, it's probably going to have to be, I may just record those. I may record those so that people can watch them at their leisure. All right. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about journaling. Okay. So our intro this week. So what are you going to need for this challenge? You're going to need something to write on. Okay. Something you can use a notebook. Sorry, I have a notebook here somewhere. You can use a notebook. Okay. You can use a journal. If you have like an actual journal that's bound, you can use that. You're going to need some way to document and keep up with your goals and those kind of things. So I've given you this PDF to print out. So you can just stick that in your journal, or you can make your own in your journal. So if you have a journal that you're already using, just go ahead and use that, because we're going to talk about how journaling helps us to kind of get stuff out and get our thoughts out on paper, kind of get our plans down. And it's actually a good wellness strategy. So you're going to need a journal, something to write in. You can download, I use an app called Carb Manager. I'm just going to see if I can pull it up and show it to y'all. Because we are going to be documenting, either writing down what we eat, or we're going to be putting it in the Carb Manager app. I like the Carb Manager app because you can scan the barcode. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. It's this one here. Probably not, huh? And then when you open it up, it looks like this. You can't see it. Anyways, I'll put a link to it at the bottom. You can scan your food, and most of the stuff I eat isn't scannable, but like, say if I'm eating an egg, you just type in boiled egg, fried egg, whatever, and that kind of thing. And it'll come up with the nutritional value. We'll talk more about this when we get to the nutrition section, but we're mainly going to be looking at increasing our protein. I don't even look at calories on there. Calories are set on there based on my height and weight. And there's also, when you put your weight in on the Carb Manager app, it does this nice little graph to show you if you're gaining or losing or maintaining. And you can put your goals in. It'll tell you how many calories you need to have. But I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to mainly focus on eating whole foods, getting your protein in, and that kind of stuff. So, and increasing your activity level. So, that's what's worked for me. So I'm just sharing, and if it's not working for you, we can kind of rehash it. But on the Carb Manager app, there is a way that you can ask to be my friend, and I'll do the link also to my name on there. So if you want me to look at what you're eating and kind of make some suggestions, I will do that. So, but I'll have to be able to see see what you're eating. So, okay. So you need a journal. You need something to write with in the journal. And you just need to watch the videos. You need to be able to print out, or if you don't want to print out the PDF, you can just make your own little thing if you don't have a printer. And you can just put it in your journal, like today's date, what your BMI is today, what your weight is. If you want to weigh every day, you don't have to weigh every day. You can weigh once in the beginning and once at the end. That is on you. And I'm not going to be asking you to put your weight in unless you want to. Okay. If you want to share successes, either scale wise or non-scale wise, you're welcome to in the group. And I'm probably going to have a little section, like a picture, right? And under that picture, we're going to share like our weekly progress and little victories along the way. So as far as I had this question come across from the initial intake. Someone asked me, is this online or in person? And it's online. It's all online because I'm in Dothan, Alabama, and most of you are scattered across the state of Alabama. As a matter of fact, I don't know that anyone in the group is outside of Alabama. I think everyone in this group is somewhere in Alabama. Some are here down here with me. Some are up in North Alabama, and some in between. So it is all online. There will be no meetups in person. At a later date, if I do a different style, then I may do a local one if I have enough interest. And we may meet up in person. But right now, it's all online. Another question I had was, what equipment are we going to use? None. I think for the video that Emily and I recorded, we used a chair to modify push-ups. We used a wall. We had a mat, but you don't have to have the mat, exercise mat. We had dumbbells just to change positioning for push-ups for people who have wrist issues, but we're not going to be lifting the dumbbells. We're going to mainly be doing body weight exercises, so you should not need any equipment. At the end, I'm probably going to do some bonus ones with maybe some bands, but we'll talk about that and give everybody time to get those if they want those. If you're going to the gym already, I can do a separate video on the ways, what to do in the gym and those kind of things. So let me know if anybody has a gym membership and regularly goes and uses the weight machines, and I can do a little video. I can't video it at my gym. We have a issue. They won't let you video at the gym. But we can talk about it. I can definitely do a video talking about that. So the answer to that is there is no equipment needed. We're mainly going to be doing body weight stuff that you can do whether you're at home or at work, at the park, because I know we're all busy and we don't always have time to exercise. I do. I'm lucky right now that I can set my schedule. I'm pretty busy, but I still can I still have time for exercise. So, and I have older girls to keep the younger kids. So I am blessed right now that I have the time to get to the gym, but not everybody does. So I'm trying to make this doable so that you don't have to have any equipment. All right. So let's talk a little bit about our week 1 challenge. So our challenge this week, there's going to be, and I'll put these in the group. I'll put them in like bullet points for week 1. Our challenge for this week is, and we'll check back in on week 2, which is next week. Number 1, I want you all to get a journal and start journaling. Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. I want you to set your goals. I want you to print out your PDF. Okay. You're going to, again, watch that video. You're going to write the date, your weight, BMI. You don't have to weigh if you don't want to. If your goal, or if you don't want to know what you weigh, or your goal is not to lose weight and you just want to get fit, you don't have to do that. But BMI, you can calculate your BMI. There's a million BMI calculators. Just Google it online. It'll tell you what your BMI is. Again, there's lots of caveats to BMI. If you have more muscle, then your BMI is going to be off. It's going to say that you're supposed to be really thin. But if you've got a lot of muscle, you're going to weigh more. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we go too. But it's a good indicator and we'll talk about some waist circumference measures too along the way. But so I want you to print this out, or just at least look at it and start doing some of these assessments and measures. And again, the video's coming out. It's going to explain this a lot more. As you do these assessments, you're going to see where you're lacking and you're going to set some goals. Okay. And y'all let me know, because this is like my first time ever doing YouTube videos. I've done Facebook Lives before. The reason we chose, I don't know how many of you were on when we started, but the reason we chose the YouTube Live was because the reaction time, it's about a 3-second delay. But on Facebook, it's a significant delay. Miranda and I had talked about, and I'll have to get her help with this because I don't know how to do it very well. We talked about doing Zoom instead. That way I can see y'all. And you could put your questions in the chat, and then I could bring you on to ask your questions and that kind of stuff. So real quick in the chat, let me know if you prefer this way, YouTube Live, or if you would be okay doing a Zoom. Now, you don't have to turn your camera on if you want to. But do you think Zoom or YouTube? Go ahead and vote in the comments real quick. All right. So we're going to journal daily. We're going to set goals and do self-assessments. Okay. So do the self-assessment, set goals, journal daily. That's our challenge. Okay. What are we putting in the journal? Good question. I want you to document your food. So you can either document your food in your journal, or you can document it on an app. If you're already using an app to track food, that's fine. I only want you to focus on your protein. Okay. And really for the first week, what I would do if you've not been, yes, Pam, you can watch Zoom later if I record it and post it. And I would record it and post it probably also to YouTube, unlisted. So use Zoom daily for work and like it, but I'm good with what works for everyone. Okay. I just think the Zoom would be better because I can see your beautiful faces and it's not like I'm just sitting here talking to my computer. So I don't like talking to my computer. Okay. But so back to what I was saying. You're going to journal daily. You're going to write down your food or put it in your tracker. If you are already using a food tracker, and I just said this, I'm just reiterating. If you're already using a food tracker, go ahead and keep using the one you like. Okay. But mainly for the first week, we want to just get honest with ourselves. Make sure we put everything in there and that we're doing what we say we're doing. Okay. Because I may think I'm eating healthy. But I forget to put that Snickers bar that I had on the way home because I was starving because I didn't pack anything and I'm an hour away from home. And I thought I wasn't going to eat till I got home. So I may have forgot that by the time I get home. Right. So we're going to, and save the wrappers if you need to. And then you can scan them in the Carb Manager app. And I do the unpaid version, by the way. Don't pay for the premium. You don't have to get everything that you need. But we really just want to get honest and kind of do a gut check and see where we are. Okay. We want to focus on whole foods if we can. We want to focus on non-packaged foods if we can. So if you're going to the grocery store and you're like, okay, I'm going to start eating healthy, what do? Shop around the outside of the grocery store, right? Fruits, vegetables, whole foods, meats. If you eat meat, and I do eat meat, I eat a lot more meat than I used to. So just if you want to go ahead and start eating healthy, then go for it. I'm not saying you can't start eating healthy until we talk about nutrition, but for this first week, if you already have your meal plan set, just go ahead and just start documenting what you're eating. That way you can go ahead and just get a check and mainly see how much protein you're getting in every day. Okay. Because that's important. As for us women, if we want to gain muscle, we've got to have our protein. All right. Couldn't respond. Okay. Saber likes Zoom. You can watch anytime as long as they're recorded. Weekday, evening. It's okay. Cool. All right. Perfect, Saber. Thank you for weighing in on that. All right. So let's talk about journaling. Sorry, I'm still working on my coffee. It's cold though. Okay. Let's talk about types of journaling. So I do want you to write down your goals in your journal. I want you to do all that, but let's talk about journaling for just self-care, right? So there's a few types of journaling. So let's think about in the morning. If you're an early riser, you get up before everybody gets up in the morning, read your Bible, do whatever. I want to challenge you to not check Facebook or check your email first thing in the morning. It's been a world of difference. Or check the news first thing in the morning. Maybe get up, get some sunlight in your eyeballs, get outside, take your journal and start writing. You can do reflective journaling, like what you're going to do for the day, how you're feeling. Gratitude journal, write down some things that you're grateful for. You can look at your goals, kind of map out how you're going to plan your day. You can record your data. You can record if you did get on the scale first thing in the morning. That's usually when you weigh the less, by the way. If you do want to get on the scale first thing in the morning, you want to write that down in the journal, write that down. And again, we talk about daily planning. Midday, you could check in. You could do your food log. You can check in with anything that's going on through the day. Journal's a good place to just write your feelings down too, especially if nobody else is going to see it, right? If you just need to get something off your chest. At night, you can do a good strategy is mind dumping, just going in and writing down everything you have to remember for the morning so that you don't forget. I've done that before where I've woke up in the middle of the night and I've got something on my mind that I've got to remember to do tomorrow. And I can't go back to sleep because I'm afraid I'm going to forget. If I get up and I'll write it down in my journal, I can go right back to sleep. So you can do mind dumping in the middle of the night if you can't sleep. Mind dumping, just getting stuff off your mind, planning for the next day. Again, logging your food if you've not, and you want to log it at the end of the day, and writing down your daily activity. So there's guided journals. You can use a plain notebook. You can even just use a calendar. All right. So for instance, as we start to make goals, so you can record your weight on your calendar. I've been doing that. You can record your workout. So cardio, strength, check, whatever, how many minutes, just, you can do it on a calendar. Circle your goal date, on the calendar if you've got a certain goal. So if you're a calendar visual person, use a calendar, as your journal. again, the Carb Manager app or any other tracking app to track your exercise and your food. And then I have a note on here because I want to remind you that we're gonna really focus on our protein. So the recommendations for anyone who's trying to gain muscle is to have 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. Okay, so I know we don't weigh in kilograms, so you'll have to get on the Google machine and take your weight and transfer it to kilograms and then times it by 1.5. And that's going to tell you how much protein you should have. Okay, so the second question is, do I use my weight now or what weight do I use? I want you to use your goal weight, or if you don't know what your goal weight is, look at the BMI chart and look at the normal category for your height. So I think it's like 24, a BMI of 24 based on your height. And it'll tell you it's some ridiculous number. It's like high school teenager weight. But that's your lean body mass. That's the muscle mass that your frame should be carrying if you are your height. So that's a good goal to aim for. But if you put your height and weight in, I think Carb Manager actually gives you the option to pick your protein levels and all of that. So, all right. So I also went through, there's a lot of journals online, like on Amazon. I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything like that, but I did find a couple of good little journals and stuff that you can find. So if you want a journal, and then I've done a couple little journal pages that I'm going to scan and just add in if anybody wants them. I just kind of wrote them out right now just for my sake. I'm just going to make copies of it and use it as my journal. But it's basically, you put your date at the top and you go 3 things I'm grateful for. 1, 2, 3. My goal to live life fit today is, so I'm going to, what am I going to do today to work on my fitness goals? I'm going to write that down. One thing I appreciate about my strong body is, all right, because there's a lot of things that we're like, I can't do this and I can't do that. Like, I can't get off the floor. It hurts to get out of a chair. I can't walk upstairs, right? But what can you do? Okay, let's think about what you can do, and let's write that down. Rate your day as down at the bottom. Again, I'm going to scan these in. So move today's workout, number of minutes, and you can write what you did, what your food was, and your energy level, and then your mood, maybe things that affected your mood, and those kind of things too. All right, and then the next page is just what I learned today, what worked and what didn't, what I plan to do tomorrow to live life fit. So this is kind of an all-day journal that you can just use throughout the day. You can tweak it however you want it. You can use your own. You can do what you want to do. But our challenge for this week is to journal, some kind of writing, journaling, and then journal your food, and then set your goals and do your assessments. Okay, so it's 1, 2, and 3. Let's also talk a little bit, since I have y'all on here real quick, about food, about eating. Okay, so we talked about eating whole foods. We talked about writing down what you eat, make sure you write down everything that you eat and trying to make those good choices. The one thing that really got me when I first started, I mean, I've been on a weight loss journey all my life. Let's just get honest. I was in high school when, I was thin. I was not fat, but I thought I was fat because I was fatter than some of the other people, bigger than some of the other people. Had to wear a bigger size than some other people, but I was not fat. Let's just be honest, right? And so I've always been on a weight loss journey, right? To some extent. I mean, I remember in high school, not eating because I wanted to lose weight, and it was ridiculous. Anyways, but as I've gotten older, what I had found was that I was eating when I wasn't hungry, or I was eating because I was mad, or I was eating because somebody had made food and said, here it is, I want you to eat, right? And if you didn't eat, they get mad that you didn't eat because they cooked, and I get it. Like, yes, we should, if someone's offering us food and has cooked for us because we're coming over, or, they brought it, like, we should be thankful for that. But if we're not hungry, it's okay to say no to food. And it's okay to say no to the food that you're not choosing for yourself, right? It's okay to set boundaries around food. You don't have to eat just because somebody is offering it to you. Okay. And you don't have to eat because you're mad. You don't have to eat because you're sad. You don't have to eat because you're happy. The only reason we should be eating is when we're hungry. And I've done this, and it was a daily practice until I got good at it. I would find myself standing in front of the refrigerator, looking into the refrigerator, or standing in front of the pantry, looking into the pantry. And I'm like, why am I even standing here? I'm not hungry. Am I hungry? No, I'm not. Okay. Shut the pantry, walk away, go for a walk. Yeah. If I'm tired, but I'm not hungry, maybe I just need some coffee. Maybe I just need water. Don't you love my crazy? I put it in the dishwasher, and it's not supposed to go in the dishwasher. But anyways, maybe you're just thirsty. Maybe you need some caffeine. Maybe you need to go do some push-ups and get woke up, right? Or wall push-ups, or run around your kitchen counter, or run down the hallway at your office. Don't do that. But maybe you just need, maybe you're just tired, right? Maybe you just didn't get enough sleep last night. That will tell your body that you're hungry because you're tired, right? Your body thinks, well, I'm tired, I need to eat to increase my energy, but that's not always the case. So that's one goal I want you to try to work on. If that's something that you struggle with, is if you're not hungry, do not eat. Okay. And try not to snack, try to get your meal, try to eat your meals. And if you're eating enough protein and fat that comes along with that protein, if you're eating fatty proteins, you're not going to be hungry until the next meal. You may not even be hungry when that next meal comes around. And if you're not hungry when the next meal comes around, don't eat. There's food. Okay. I was in that scarcity mindset for a really long time, that I better eat now because I don't know when I'm going to get to eat again, or, that kind of thing. So, not that I didn't have food. I was just so time constrained. Am I going to be hungry? So I might as well just go ahead and eat. Right. So I'm not hungry. I was afraid of being hungry. It's a weird thing to be afraid of, I know. But so don't eat unless you're hungry. Try to space your meals out. Write down the timing of your meals too, okay? Because we're going to try to get into a fasting cycle. I'm not telling you you're going to fast and go without food for days, but we need to stop eating at a certain time at the end of the day and not start eating again until a certain time in the morning. So for instance, I'll just go through me as an example right now. Okay. So last night we had dinner at 8 o'clock. We eat kind of late here. We had dinner around 8 o'clock. No, I think it was 7 last night. We had dinner around 7 o'clock, and we ate a high protein meal. We went to bed, got up this morning, and I had coffee. I got up at 6-ish, 6:30, sat down and did invoices for work, making some appointments with the babies, and I had coffee. Still working on it. I have black coffee. Well, it's not black. It's coffee. I put MCT oil in it and half and half. So slow carb, and I put it all in my carb manager so far this morning. And sometimes I'll have 2 cups of coffee, and sometimes I'll just have 1. But that tides me over. The MCT oil it's fat bomb, so it kind of helps to satiate any cravings that I might have. And then Skip left about 10:30 to go somewhere, but he cooked me a couple eggs, and he cooked the kids some bacon and eggs before he left. So I had 2 eggs and 2 pieces of bacon. Actually, I think it was like maybe 1 piece of bacon because it was cut in half. But anyways, and I'm full. I did that the other day, and I was not hungry again till last night when we ate dinner. So did I go to the fridge a couple of times yesterday because I was bored and look in the fridge? Yep. But I didn't eat because I mindfully went, well, am I hungry? No, I'm not hungry. So I'm not going to eat. But I will tell you, I have lots of food that's prepared. Sorry, my phone's dinging over here. Lots of food that's prepared in my fridge, so I can just go grab it, and eat when I get hungry. So I'm not waiting till I'm hungry, right? I'm not saying, well, I better go ahead and cook because I have a minute, so I'll get to eat when I'm hungry. So, so that's what I've had. And then later today, whenever the girls, Sadie's off today, so her and Emily have the kids going to get something to eat and take them out a little bit while I do this. But so they've already ate, so I probably won't eat again until dinner tonight. So the big thing is, though, if you eat really late and you eat something really sugary, you're going to be hungry first thing in the morning when you wake up. And if you break your fast or your breakfast is something that's very sugary, you're going to be hungry again, okay? Because it's going to spike your insulin. Spike your blood sugar. And then you're going to have that blood sugar drop. It's going to tell you need to eat. So you're going to eat something that's sugary or carby, and it's going to spike your blood sugar again. And then your body's going to store it because it can't use it, especially if you're sitting at your desk at work or sitting in your car like me, driving around. Blood pressure is going to spike. It's going to give you, your body's going to shoot out that insulin that's going to store that blood sugar, and then it's going to drop down again. When it drops down, when it does that sudden drop, that's when your body goes, oh, we need food, right? Because you're getting that sudden drop of energy and your body thinks you need food. When you eat things that are low carb, it looks more like you're getting a spike, but it's not as high of a spike. So it's not as dramatic of a dip. So that's what I have found has worked for me. Now, is that diet or way of eating going to work for everybody? I don't know. I will tell you, I've tried just about every other one. I will tell you, I tried vegan, and I was vegan for a very long time, and vegan worked. I felt good for a while. I felt like I had a lot of energy for a while. I kind of cured a lot of my female issues for a while. And then I became anemic, and my vitamin D3 was low, and my triglycerides were high, and my cholesterol was high. So, and I was eating no meat at all, no fat at all. It's crazy. Most of it was coming from bread and pasta, right? So, which is carby, right? There's a lot of carbs. And I was hungry all of the time. I was constantly hungry, constantly looking for food. My stomach was constantly rumbling. But this is what's worked for me. So that's the information I'm going to share. I'm not a dietitian. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. I'm going to share a lot of information on mainly just whole foods eating. Okay. I firmly believe that if you're going from a standard American diet or you're eating out of boxes and bags all of the time, no shame. I've done it. And I may still do it some. But if that's what you're doing, any change and any whole foods and fruits and vegetables and good meats and eggs, anything you can get into your diet that's real food, that looks like real food, is going to help. Okay. So start adding in the good stuff, and you're eventually going to weed out the bad stuff. Okay. And if you have any specific questions for me along the way, maybe on our next Zoom, we can really hash that out when we talk about nutrition. Okay. Marta said Fitness Pal for my calorie intake instead of Carb Manager, and just share it with you. Yeah. Yep, that's fine. And you can screenshot it too and send it to me. I think I'm your friend on MyFitnessPal, and I do have a MyFitnessPal thing too. But if you want me to look at it, then you can private message me. But I'm not just going to be going through. If you friend me on them, I'm not just going to go through and look at your stuff, because unless you want me to, okay, for accountability or to kind of hash it out with you, maybe some good swaps, some healthy swaps. So, let's talk about why we're doing this challenge. Okay. A lot of the people lately, if you are on, I'm on YouTube a lot because I like to look up a lot of the latest research around fitness, and longevity is a big buzzword recently. But let's talk about, people may live for a really long time, right? And if that's our goal, like nobody wants to die tomorrow, right? Most of us want to live as long as God wants us to live, right? As long as we're meant to be on this earth, we want to be here. But we want it to be healthy, right? We don't want to live. I mean, you might. I don't want to live to 100 years old if I'm spending the last 25 not being able to care for myself, not being able to get out of a chair, in a nursing home with someone else taking care of me. I don't want to prolong my life past, just to say I'm still alive, right? I want to be able to have a healthy life. So that's called health span, right? We have lifespan, which is how long you live, and health span is like how healthy, how long are you healthy, right? How long are you still able to do what you want to do, to get things done, and to care for your children, your grandchildren, just to, and do all that stuff. So that's why we're doing it. We want to take back our health. We want to try to avoid getting, muscle loss as we get older. We want to try to avoid falling and balance issues as we get older. And yeah, I'm 45. That's older, right? And we want to try to avoid we want to we don't want to have osteoporosis. If we lose muscle mass, our bone mass will go with it. So we have to have strong muscles in order for our bones to know to be strong. So we want to avoid what's called sarcopenia, which is muscle loss. We want to avoid osteoporosis, which is bone loss. We want to avoid falling. We want to avoid becoming dependent on others, and we want to keep our endurance up. So that's kind of the reason we're doing all this. And everybody else may have their own reasons, but that's my reason for giving this information out to you all, because I want that for you. I want you all to live as long as you're supposed to live, but to live healthily, and to have good quality of life. So that's kind of where we are. We talked about eating only when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. I would suggest that you stop eating at least 2 hours before you go to bed. 4 hours if you have issues with digestion. Say if you have acid reflux at night, you probably want to stop a little bit sooner than that. We're going to talk a little about this a little bit more when we talk about sleep and nutrition, but circadian rhythm is a big thing, right? Getting sunlight in your eyeballs first thing in the morning, and then not eating after dark, because we weren't, our ancestors didn't eat after dark. They were asleep in the cave because they had to get up early the next morning, right? So, and just get curious, right? Just get curious about how you feel, how certain food makes you feel, right? If I have a soda, which I haven't had a soda in a really long time, but if I have a soda, I'm going to be sick. If I eat a donut from Krispy Kreme, I'm going to immediately feel sick. It's too much sugar, right? So I write down, I had a donut and I feel like I'm going to throw up. Okay. So, but I already know that. But let's just say, okay. Or on the flip side, I had bacon and eggs this morning. I want to live in a cave. You can't do that. I mean, you can if you can find one for sale. I don't think you can just go find a cave and live in it. But if you do, you find one, I'll come with you. But anyways, all right, cave commune, here we come. Who's signing up? Wait, we got to have the land first. But anyways, I don't know what I was talking about. All right, so I eat a donut. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I'm immediately hungry as soon as like 30 minutes later, right? I eat eggs and bacon this morning. I have energy. I don't feel lethargic after I eat like that, right? And I eat till I'm full, because it's amazing. If you look at bacon and eggs and you think, I can eat all of that. Like, I want all of the bacon and all of the eggs, but you start eating and your body gets full. Your body is designed to get the nutrients that it needs, regardless of how much food you try to feed it. And we'll talk about this later. There's this interesting study where they use mice. I know we're not mice, but they used mice, and they I have to find it so I can link it so you can read it if you want to. But they gave these mice this. They didn't restrict their feeding. They gave them as much food as they want to, but they gave the one group of mice, that's funny, Pam. They gave the one group of mice nutrient-dense food. And the other group, they watered it down with sugar or something like that. So, and they found that the ones who got the nutrient-rich food stopped eating and got a certain amount of calories, right? The ones who didn't have the nutrient-dense food, who had some other non-nutrient-rich foods, like sugary foods and stuff that their bodies didn't need, they kept eating until their body got all of the nutrients that they needed. So they wound up having more calories. I'm pretty sure I did not explain that well, but basically your body knows what nutrients it needs. It needs a certain level of protein. It needs a certain level of fat. It needs maybe some carbs if you're doing strenuous workout, right? If you're doing some endurance training, your body's going to crave carbs because they're fast burning fuel, right? Your body needs a certain amount of vitamins and minerals and things like that, right? And your body's going to tell you to keep eating until you get that quota. And so if you give them your body nutrient-dense food, your body's going to tell you, when I start eating bacon and eggs, I can eat 2 eggs and maybe 1 piece of bacon. And my body says, okay, that's enough, right? I feel full, and I'm going to feel full for a really long time. Whereas if I get up in the morning and I eat cereal, and even oatmeal makes me hungry too. So I don't do well with oatmeal. I ate oatmeal for a really long time. But if I eat that, I'm going to be hungry. I'm not saying oatmeal is bad food. I'm just saying for my body. And I know because I used to eat oatmeal for a really long that was my go-to meal in the morning, do the overnight oats. And then I'm hungry and I had acid reflux and all kinds of stuff. So that was me. And I'm not saying that's going to work for you, but I'm just saying, get curious, right? Get curious about what this food that you're eating is doing to you, right? Is it making you have energy? Is it making you full? Is it making you lethargic? Is it making you hungry? Are you hungry again in 30 minutes after you eat it? Okay. Because we don't want to be spiking our blood sugar all day long, right? We want a little spike with our good food, and we don't want that dip, right? That dip's what makes us tired and tells us we need to look for more food. Okay. So I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. So get curious, eat only when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full, stop eating 2 hours before bedtime, at least 2 to 4 hours, and do not eat after dark. When you get up in the morning, if you've had a good protein rich meal the night before, you may not be hungry first thing in the morning. If you drink coffee, have some coffee. If you need water, get some water. But let's work on making small changes. And that's kind of why this slow and steady. And I'm going to do a recording on the name of that and some coaching on that. But don't jump in. I would start where you are. Okay. I don't want you to change your diet drastically right now. I just want you to start adding in maybe one meal, like your breakfast, right? Make it good. Make it protein rich. Break your fast with something that has got some protein and fat in it and that can tide you over until lunchtime. Okay. And then you can try to make a good choice at lunchtime. Get some salads and some protein. And if you're going for dressing, go for full fat. Don't go for sugary dressing because that's going to spike your blood sugar. And for dinner, get some hamburgers. Don't have the bread. Step away from the bread. Put everything else on you want and eat it with a fork and a knife, and have you a salad on the side or some Brussels sprouts or some non-starchy vegetables like, I don't know, broccoli. If you don't want broccoli, have another salad, right? Get the bag salad if you don't like to make salads. Prepare your salad, the night before so you have it. Set yourself up for success, okay? And you can use your journal to do that. All right. So far, there's no questions that I see. People would be okay with Zoom and really okay with whenever, but as long as they can watch the recording. Yes, and I will record everything. And Pam and Miranda and Belinda want to live in a cave. All right. Is there anything else? And I want to live in a cave too. Is there anything else? Any other questions or anything I need to clarify? I feel like I'm all over the place. And yes, I did have notes, and I feel like my brain is all over the place too. All right. Well, I'm going to wait a few minutes, just to see if anybody has any questions. And I will figure out how to do Zoom next time so we can see each other. All right. If y'all think of any questions, thanks, Amy. It's only 105 degrees here in South Alabama, and I have my air conditioning on, and I'm still sweating. Is that not crazy? Do you have any meal prep video faves? I don't, but I think I might start like a little, maybe I'll do a little picture where everybody can post underneath and share like favorite recipes and stuff. Oh, you're talking about like meal prep, like prepping for the week before. I don't have any videos that I share. I honestly eat very, very basic. Most days, my food consists of bacon and eggs in the morning, and we usually, like yesterday, we cooked a pork tenderloin in the Instapot. We're still eating on that. The kids are just eating on it whenever they get hungry. And there's some brisket. Skip cooked some brisket, so I've got leftover brisket. When I go out on the road, in the morning, I'll get up. I'll have him cook me some eggs in the evening. He's the cook. I can cook my eggs, but he's very happy to do so. So I'll just have him cook 5 or 6 eggs, and he just cooks them fried, but he busts the yolk, and then I put them all in a container and put them in the fridge overnight. So the next day, and I may throw some bacon in there or some leftover brisket, and I'll eat it cold. If he fixes something in the morning, I'll just leave it in my car and it stays warm because it's hot, right? And it stays warm till I'm ready to eat it. But that's the big thing for me is I would say I'm eating maybe 80% carnivore, maybe 20% veg at this point. like this, I think this evening the kids want some fish tacos. And yes, I use the fried fish sticks, but I bake them is what I use for them. And we do some kale slaw kind of stuff. They put theirs in tortillas, but I just eat it together. I just eat I won't have the fried fish. We're going to cook some salmon, maybe. So I cook them the same stuff. We'll do tacos. So I'll do taco meat. I do my own seasoning because the seasoning that you get from the store will have MSG and maltodextrin, and dextrose will turn straight to sugar as soon as it hits your saliva. So I do my own taco seasoning. And I let them have the tortillas and the chips if they want it. I do get gluten-free for them in the chips. But I'll take the big lettuce wraps, and I just wrap mine up in like a taco. So I don't eat corn and beans with it. I'll just have the meat and the cheese and the sour cream if I want it, and tomatoes and guacamole and salsa or whatever, and I'll just put it in the lettuce wrap and eat it, or I'll just make a salad out of it. All right, I'm going to eat some of the. Sorry, I was talking. I wasn't. Saber, thank you. Thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm just rambling right now, but I hope that I'm giving y'all some good advice. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, so I just want to share what I've done and kind of we can all help each other make good choices, right? Pam said, I had pork tenderloin Sunday and Monday. Yum. Mm-hmm. And we just do like some beef broth on it or chicken broth or whatever, and just do some seasonings on it. If you want to use barbecue sauce and you want to go low carb, you can make your own. There's lots of recipes, so feel free to share those in the group if you have some recipes for low carb stuff. But we just use G Hughes, or Sweet Baby Ray's actually has a sugar-free barbecue sauce too. I have to watch out for those though, because some of them have the artificial sweeteners. I can do stevia and monk fruit, but some of those artificial sweeteners just make it taste like weirdly sweet, and I don't like them. And it gives me a headache too. So I can't drink diet soda because it gives me headaches. And Miranda said, the hardest thing for me on a healthy diet isn't the yummy, healthy food. It's the boredom of eating the same types of food over and over again. I know. I don't know, though. For some reason, I'm okay with it at this point. And so, I mean, we'll go somewhere out to eat, and they'll be having something, and I'll try some of somebody else's stuff. But for right now, I'm just not. For some reason, I've kind of gotten over that of craving stuff. And I think it's because my body isn't craving sugar because the sugar bugs are no longer in my gut, right? Whatever you feed your body will feed the gut bacteria. And so if you've got some gut bacteria in there that love sugar, they're going to start screaming for sugar. I don't know that there's any in there anymore. Even when I have like Andy's birthday, I had a cupcake. Normally I would have a cupcake and I would want to eat more cupcakes. And an hour later, I would want another cupcake. And if one of the kids didn't finish their cupcake, I'd want that cupcake. I'd be like, Mom, do you want the rest of my cupcake? Of course I want the rest of the cupcake. But I didn't this time. And I think it's just because my body is now able to switch back and forth. Dr. Mindy Peltz is really good about explaining this. Switching back and forth. She does this. I'm going to mimic her. She switches back and forth, but she says as we're metabolically healthy, we can switch back and forth from being a fat burner to being a carb burner. And we can get back on track. It's not that we have that overflow of gut bacteria that's swaying us one way or the other. All right. Need to plan ahead so I'm not starving in the cave. Yes, you should do some prepping in the cave. Excited for this. We meal prep on Sunday afternoons, basically grill meat and cook bacon or sausage for several days. We're eating carnivore since June. Good job, Belinda. Yep. I would not. Okay. So I don't know if anybody's heard of carnivore. I have. And I'm kind of leaning toward going carnivore. I'm going to have my triglycerides rechecked and all that first, though, just to make sure I'm doing okay. There's a lot of science out there, and you can really go down the rabbit hole with all the research or the lack of research that there is on nutritional science. That's why I'm saying get curious. And a lot of the carnivore people will say be an N of one. So N means your sample size in a research study. You're an N of one. You are the sample size. You are the research participant in your own research study. See what happens and do what works for your body. I'm going to have my triglycerides rechecked and my HDL and 80. I had mixed hyperlipidemia is what they called it last time. Basically, everything that shouldn't have been high was high, and everything that needed to be high was not high. And that was on a vegan diet. She asked me, did I have a lot of sweets and stuff? And I was having sweets, some, but it was a lot of bread, right? It was a lot of bread and pasta. So I've cut that out and I feel amazing. But I know the scale's gone down significantly, but, and my measurements have gone down significantly and my energy level has gone up significantly. I just don't know what my, triglycerides are doing, but I'm going to go find out soon and I'll let you know. But yeah, carnivore is just eating meat and animal products. You have to drink water and you need to watch your electrolytes. So if you start having any leg cramps, you need to drink something with some salt, magnesium, and potassium in it. I would not recommend, if you're eating a standard American diet and eating out of boxes and bags, that you go straight to a carnivore diet. Your stomach will not be very happy with you. So at least go, if you look up carnivore and you think, oh, that's great, let me do that. Go keto first, right? Clean up your diet, whole foods, paleo, whatever you want to look up, Mediterranean, keto, and then ease yourself into carnivore. It's an elimination diet. It's meant to do, some good elimination, and then you can add stuff back in if you want to. And you can really see, like I love broccoli, I love Brussels sprouts. But if I go completely carnivore and I feel better and I start adding, and then I try to add it back in, like, what does my body say, right? Does it say, yes, it's okay to have this, or no, it's not okay to have this? So a lot of people will use that as an elimination diet, and a lot of people use it as a lifestyle. Yep. Saber, boredom, get to, yep. Do your own seasoning. Belinda, share your seasoning recipe in our group whenever I put that up, because Emily usually makes ours. She makes it really strong, but it's really good. So we can all benefit from some homemade recipes, right? Because if the more we can get away from all this processed stuff and get all these fake foods out of our diet, the better we're going to feel. Screaming gut bacteria is frightening. Well, I've never actually heard it scream, but in my mind, it was going, feed me, feed me. That's funny, Brenda. All right. Has anybody else got any questions? Raise your hand if you want to see my my lab results, because I've been eating all meat for a little while. Measurement has gone down, energy is going up. We'll share the recipes. Perfect. Yeah. Cool. My gym that I go to has a little body scan machine. I'm going to go get back on it and let it scan me. It was very rude the last time. I was really bumpy. I mean, it's real life, but okay. Let me know if y'all have any more questions. I will let y'all go. We are right at 4 minutes until noon. This replay will be up. It'll be on the same link. Again, nobody can see it except for anybody who has that link that's in our group. And I'm going to post the video on how to do the assessment. Emily and I recorded that. You can comment under that video if you have any questions about that video, or you can comment on the Facebook page under where I post the video. And then like I said, I'll probably go live maybe Thursday night to answer any questions about that, or it may be Saturday evening or something. Or I may do both, right? I may do both. I may be kind of going live 3 times a week, just to kind of like first of the week, midweek, and weekend kind of thing, just to get everybody. But at any point, if you have any questions, you can comment in the group, or you can private message me and that kind of stuff. I will be out seeing babies for the next 2 days in the mornings, but I will be free in the afternoons to answer any questions that you have. All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I really appreciate y'all being here and participating. And yeah. All right. Well, I will see y'all in the group, and I will let y'all go and let you get back to work or whatever it is that you're doing today. I'm going to go find out where my kids are and scheduling babies for the month. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all more than you know. And any feedback, please don't feel, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me you talk too much. Please get more organized. I already know I need to be more organized. All right, guys, I'm going to post a video. Y'all go watch that and get your assessments done. So challenge, journal daily, set goals, do self-assessment. Got it? All right. Y'all have a good rest of your day.